Hello and welcome everybody to this live stream today here on the 12th of April. It's CPI day. Typically the number that's leading to most volatility every single month. Even though the Fed uses the core PCE data a lot and other metrics, but CPI is one of the earliest sort of reports released about inflation in a month. So that's why it sparks a lot of interest. Hope you can hear me. Before we start, would be great if you could hit the like button. It would really help to bring that live stream out. They're normally very popular around the CPI numbers, so it just helps to promote it a little bit. Would be appreciated. Besides that, in half an hour we will get the inflation data. So the plan is, as always, talk a little bit about what is expected, what does the market expect, what can we expect based on the numbers. Of course, I don't know what numbers are coming out, but typically you do expect volatility, but we talk about, how do the numbers need to be for a bullish case, a bearish case. Note that they typically only lead to short-term price fluctuations. They don't normally change a trend, unless it's completely out of order here, the inflation figures, which I don't think they will be. So let's take a look at that. Overall, just want to start really with here, the FedWatch tool. This changes basically every day at the moment. But at the moment, it shows you the probabilities basically and the market expectations for another interest rate increase. Interest rate increases are, you would say, at least short-term bearish for crypto. So if we get another one, I guess it's priced in, to be honest, another one. But let's say if we can avoid another interest rate increase, which I don't think we can, but if we do, then, or if we can avoid it, then you would normally see a little bit of a bullish reaction in crypto. But at the moment, the vast majority of, you could say, market participants or probabilities would suggest another interest rate increase. You see here, nearly 74% of probability for another 25 basis point interest rate increase, which would set the rate at 5% to 5.25%. So it's always a range that the Fed can define. The current rate is here 475 to 500, so it would lead to a 25 basis point increase, 26% probability for no increase. That might change after today's inflation figures. So when you check in tomorrow, it might look completely different. It's very much fluid at the moment. Now, what can we expect in terms of inflation data today? So normally I use Forex Factory. So we've got CPI month over month, CPI year over year, and core CPI coming out today. Core CPI strips out energy and food because they are very volatile. So it's a bit more of a stable inflation metric. You would expect here basically CPI month over month 0.2%, which is a reduction compared to the 0.4% in the previous month. Year over year 5.1%, which is a reduction compared to 6% the previous year. And core CPI month over month 0.4% compared to 0.5% previous month. But I'm not sure about the 5.1%. I've seen on many other websites and articles the 5.2%. So I'm not sure where they got the 5.1% from. Maybe it's a typo here on Forex Factory. Because if I look at investing.com, they show as forecast 5.2%. So I guess they might have made a mistake or whatever, I don't know. Or there are just different expectations, right? Which can be as well. So sort of 5.1, 5.2% is the expectation. If we have below 5.2 that's where the problem comes in. I would say 5.2 is actually the number, because I did have an article on here as well, and I saw a few other articles. They always talk about the 5.2%. I guess if it's below that, we rather see a bullish reaction in crypto. That would be ideal. If it's around 5.1, 5.2, I don't think we're going to see much. 5.3 would lead probably to a deeper pullback. Okay, so that you just get an idea. It seems like more and more people are focusing currently on core CPI, which again excludes volatile food and energy prices, and that would be 5.6%. I think it is, we need to double check, I think it is the first time in recent months that core CPI is expected to be higher than CPI. Okay, so just as a note. But there is not much more to add. So this is going to come out in around 25 minutes. Yeah. So what we do until then is we can take a look at, by the way, just ask questions. Yeah, I can't promise I can answer them all. In the meantime, also please hit the like button. It would be really good to get more likes. And then we can look at charts. Yeah, I'm thinking around 45 minutes, 1 hour for this live stream, and then yeah, because normally what you do see, we normally would see a reaction in the market. Sometimes you don't see that much of a reaction after the report release. Yeah, we will then have to wait an hour until the stock market opens just to see how the stock markets actually does react, how the stock market does react really to that report. But yeah, again, thanks for everybody who's here. Fun Mafia asks, what do you expect? To be honest, I didn't really look into too much. I didn't read through all the stuff. I normally go with what sort of is forecasted here on by other economists. I'm not too much into the fundamentals, but yeah, sort of CPI, I would also go with 5.1, 5.2%. But I haven't followed the inflation, the sort of, obviously you've got that basket of goods that the inflation data is based on. So I haven't really looked at the balancing and everything. I haven't read through the reports because it's often a waste of time, because, it's often a bit of a, how do you say, what do they say in England? Storm in a teacup. So actually, it's all a bit, everybody's waiting for it, and but then you see a bit of volatility, but not much is happening eventually. So I'm not focusing on it too much, but obviously people like to talk about it. I'm focusing mainly just on the charts, but we cannot ignore this because it leads to a lot of volatility short term. Now, important is to note that with all the scenarios we have on the different charts, whatever's happening today is most likely not impacting it too much. And if it does, then things can happen very quickly. Yeah, on days like these, some of the support areas, they could be broken briefly, because waves tend to go to their extremes on days like these. So I'm generally, Flockfar asked, I'm currently bullish as long as we're holding above support, and a lot of, especially Bitcoin, Ethereum, they've got a lot of support areas, bullish support areas below them, which would mean even if we drop below 1, there are 2 to 3 other bullish support areas where the price has a chance to find support before flipping into a higher level bearish scenario. But yeah, I'm at the moment actually quite bullish on the market. You can always get a deeper pullback, right? But in my opinion, the trend is up at the moment. Even though a lot of the altcoins haven't really started to move though. So yeah, I mean, we're holding above support, right? There's still a lot of people talk about new bear market lows, and yeah, I mean, I'm not ruling that out, but I do explain that from time to time on the crypto charts. I mean, there's no point focusing on bearish scenarios as long as we're holding above support, right? I mean, we had here the March resistances. Yeah, this is the Bitcoin chart, the March highs, and a couple of weeks ago I talked about that there are a lot of short positions positioned here, or short sellers positioned here with stop losses just above these March highs. And that is, it's quite straightforward to take them out. And if they do, you get all these liquidations, or not necessarily liquidations, but the stop losses are going to be triggered, and you see that sort of squeeze. And we saw that. So yeah, I mean, it was reasonable to go short here. It's just, for me, the higher trend is up. Okay, so from that point of view, going short against the trend, I mean, it's reasonable from a risk management point of view, because obviously just hovering below resistance gives you a good reward to risk ratio, right? But obviously they failed. The bulls were stronger here, which was also my expectation. And as long as the support areas are holding, it's just no point focusing on a bearish scenario. Knowing that there is one is enough for risk management purposes, but there's no point adding a bearish count here to the chart, because we've got here all of these support areas that will still be relevant if we come down. And then we can, even if we lose them, we have here bullish support, we have here bullish support, and this would be the last bullish support area. Only below 17.5K, I would really flip bearish again on Bitcoin. It is the structure that currently suggests further upside, because there's such a layered section of support. And yes, a lot of altcoins don't have this large support area, but they also have a couple of support areas below them now. So from that point of view, the thing is, reality is, And I can't confirm yet the bull market has started. However, I can tell you that bear market lows have become much less likely than they have been before the 10th of March when we turned around here in this trend reversal area. And that's where it has become much less likely, the bear market lows. And you just have to go with the trend. Yeah, the trend can change. So then we change our view. Simple. But for now, the trend is up. And it's just pointless, worthless to focus on a bearish scenario as long as we're in an uptrend. It's otherwise you can't make money in trading if you focus on a downtrend. If you try to focus on further lows, but the trend is up. It's unless you trade against the trend, which is hard. What else to say? Just want to say something else. I mean, if we get new lows, then it might be around the 10K area, okay, for Bitcoin. That would obviously take Ethereum probably below $1,000. And a lot of altcoins will make new lows with their relevant targets. But at the moment, obviously, because we've seen this series of impulses to the upside, the trend is up for me. There was something I wanted to say. Forgot. Anyway, it might come up again. Yeah, so that's why I'm rather bullish at the moment. But I wanted to say, obviously, still a lot of bears around. Yeah, crypto Twitter, in my opinion, is still bearish. There's still a lot of bears around. So, in my opinion, still the majority. Yeah. Typically, the masses are wrong. And we've seen that end of 2021, everybody's expecting 100K. I was quite bearish on Bitcoin back then, but everybody's still expecting 100K. And most people didn't realize we were in a bear market until Bitcoin came below 30K. So my view is many people will not realize that we are in an extended either bear market rally to the upside or that we're in a bull market until Bitcoin crosses whatever, 50, 60K. Yeah. So just saying that. Don't go with your bias, just go with the trend. I think is best way. And that's why I like to go with take it level by level. Yeah, we take it level by level. It's too early to say. I mean, it was straightforward to say for me in December 21 that we will go below 30K because the structure was clear. At the moment, structure still allows for a new bear market low. So I'm not happy to call out the new bull run. Yeah, but we take it level by level for now. And at the moment, I'm bullish. Okay. But even if we see, even if Bitcoin comes down to whatever 28K or something, it wouldn't be bearish. It would just be a retest of bullish support. Okay, let me check your questions today. So yeah, Binance. Here's a few comments about Binance in the chat there. Binance, they're getting a lot of negative news out there. I've certainly lost some trust into Binance. I have never really used it too much, but yeah, a lot of the tweets that came out, I mean, it's getting a bit strange. And the exchanges I use, I mean, I've not had really any negative or bearish news or scandals, at least yet. So I use mainly Bybit, Kucoin, Bitget, sometimes Coinbase, but not really for trading. Maybe a couple of others. I think it's always important to diversify. I don't want to recommend any, but yeah. Okay, so Boris asked, does your course include full Elliott Wave explanation? Yeah, it does include. Yeah, it's not an extensive, advanced Elliott Wave course. It covers a lot of different aspects, not only Elliott Wave, but it should give you a good idea about what Elliott Wave is, how it can be traded. And in the channel membership, we have a lot of tutorials, the weekly live streams. They often are educational, and there's a lot of educational material. You could just start with that if you want to learn more about that. Badminton, what time is CPI live streaming starting? Not sure what you mean. So we do talk about CPI here. The report comes out in around 15 minutes. Yeah, 15 minutes. So I don't think there's a live stream, but there is this live stream, and we talk about the numbers when they come out. So that's going to be in 15 minutes. Mario, can you explain why it might still be bearish? Yeah, because you have the possibility. Let's go to a long-term Bitcoin chart. Maybe that's the easiest way to explain it. There's a structure that still allows for another low. And this is obviously here as a long-term chart, the 4-day chart. This is the November high 21. see, at the time it was it would not say very easy, but it was straightforward to be bearish for me. That was back in November, December 21. It's all on YouTube, forecasting prices below 30K. The reason was the structure was clear. We had 5 waves up complete. Or even, this can be counted as an overshooting B wave, which I do normally. But either way, you had a bearish divergence. You had everything there for this drop. At the moment, it's just not entirely clear yet. But why can it still be bearish? Because the move off the high can be an A wave, highlighted here. This move up can be a B wave in wave A already done, wave B already done. That was the 10th of March low. And now we could get here a 5-wave move up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, it could be an extended rally in a B wave, which would be, again, consisting of A, B, C itself. But, and that might take a while. So, the trend is up. So we go with the trend, right? We broke above previous highs. We broke out of the range. So it's all good. It's just that because of this could still become a larger 3-wave structure, ABC, and then come down in that larger C wave later to 10K or below. Okay, so that this entire structure here, that this rally currently is still part of the bear market. So that's why I don't want to call out the bull market yet. It's too early. Yeah, it's possible, but yeah, it's difficult. I'm not there yet. So yeah, Hector asked, are we going to 32K? Yeah, I think we weren't there yet. That would be my expectation at the moment. As long as there's always certain conditions, right? As long as the conditions hold. Yeah, I think at the moment that's my view. But bear in mind, on a day like that, a lot of anything is possible anyway. But the current micro support for Bitcoin, which means sort of the current wave pattern here with another wave up and escalation to the upside, is valid as long as we're holding 29K basically, 29,140. So that's the current structure. Maybe here another dip also, but generally trend is up for me. Let me just get some coffee here, 1 second. Right, still warm. That's good. Okay, so if you, so it would be great if you could continue to hit that like button. Would be really helpful. So Dan asks, won't there always be some bearish option? Yeah, there will always be a bearish option, Dan. That's correct. But there will be the point where I would be very happy to confirm a bull market is happening. I'm not happy to do that yet. And yes, there is always a bearish option, but at some point it will become so unlikely that there will only be basically likely bullish options. Yeah, at some point there will still be a bearish option, but but within all likely scenarios, the bearish one might be the least likely one. So it's all probabilistic, right? Augustine asks, are you using log charts? I mainly don't use log charts. Log charts can be useful for long-term charts. Yeah, so when I really look at a long-term chart, I use the log chart. Or when there's some coins that are in lifetime downtrends. So when you see a crypto chart that's just like ICP, which is a bad chart, honestly. I haven't looked at it for a while, but if you have one like that and you don't use the log chart, you have difficulties. Just 1 second, something. Just wondering, unless I'm blind, but did the log chart option disappear down there for some reason? Strange. Need to find out how to bring that back. Yeah, strange. Anyway, yeah, this is now the log chart. If you don't have the log chart, you can't really count the wave sometimes. So because it's all happening down here, it's just then a horizontal line on the linear chart. But most of the time, especially short term, I use the linear chart. They both can be used. Just you just need to know about some differences on the with regards to Fibonacci extensions on the charts. Kalarabi Bin, do you think ETH is going to drop in price because of the Shanghai update? No, I don't really focus on fundamentals. I don't normally just go with the chart. It's certainly, and that's the thing. Ethereum seems to be weaker than Bitcoin anyway. I wouldn't be surprised, let's say it like that. I mean, if I had to make a choice, which one is going to perform better, Ethereum or Bitcoin, it's going to be Bitcoin in the next few weeks. And that's due to the ETH-BTC chart. So that's rather stuff I'm observing. You can clearly see that Bitcoin is outperforming Ethereum at the moment here. It's following the wave count currently in a third wave down. Looks really like a third wave currently. It suggests that also in the next few weeks, Bitcoin is going to outperform Ethereum. So yeah, it could be that Bitcoin is either just staying stable, Ethereum is going to make a drop, or Ethereum is going to go up, Bitcoin is going to go up more, or Ethereum is going to go, they were the two options, right? That just Bitcoin is outperforming Ethereum. So we had that, Ethereum merge. I was quite bearish during the merge. That was the right decision. But that was also because the wave structure suggested it. At the moment, even though it's possible, at the moment we're still holding support. That was different when we had the Ethereum merge, which was, I remember that because I was bearish. Where were we? I think it was this structure in September 22. A lot of people bullish, yeah, but it was a corrective structure. So it was planned, let's say planned. It was expected I expected a drop from here. That was not necessarily because of the fundamentals and, buy the rumor, sell the news around the merge. It was purely by looking at the wave structure. So also here, similar now, but now I'm actually rather bullish. But yeah, if I then look at ETH-BTC, if one coin is going to run and the other one not, then it's Bitcoin that's going to run and Ethereum is going to be left behind because of the ETH-BTC chart. So that's also why we see a deeper pullback at the moment. But I don't think it will impact it too much. The fundamental aspect is most likely priced in already. Anything, But we'll see, things can change quickly. But for me, if I had to make a choice between Ethereum and Bitcoin, which one is going to be more bullish over the coming weeks? It's Bitcoin. So it's 8 minutes till CPI. Chilies. So if you see the numbers before me, just post them here, please, in the chat, because I might just be waffling about something. No, not chilies. 1 second. HBARs. HBAR. Want to look at HBAR? Yeah, HBAR I'm not too happy with anymore. The structure here, even though it's holding quite well. But first of all, let me change the timestamp here. So if anybody knows how I can get that log chart symbol back here, down here, let me know, because it's just disappeared for some reason. I don't know why, and I can't. It was always next to the auto one. I'll probably find out, but it's just annoying. Anyway, I don't normally use the log chart anyway, but right. Yeah, HBAR, my view is that obviously we printed a wave 1 high here on the 12th of February. We came down in an A wave. This here is a 3-wave structure, so I'm currently counting it as a B wave. And we could now be coming down in the C wave. So wave 1 might be done. Yeah, waiting for a wave 2 pullback unless it goes down directly. It just makes very shallow pullbacks. As long as it's holding 4.29 cents, I think overall bullish, but short-term bearish, I would say, unless it can really break above there's a fib level that if we break above that, it's worth reconsidering. So 7.49 cents, then it's more likely that we get either a direct breakout or an extended B wave. But until we break above 8.9 cents, I think we have a chance that this is just a corrective B wave and will follow further to the downside. We simply just haven't seen that impulsive move to the upside. Okay, so it's just corrective on the way up. 3-wave structure. So yeah, just here I think the parcel guy just brought some dog food, so you'll hear the barking. Alt L. Let me see. Yeah, don't know. I just pressed Alt L. All right. Okay. Nice. Log chart, linear. Just strange the option disappeared down there. But anyway, okay. Thank you, Alex. On top of auto click option. Auto click. On top of auto. All right, don't worry, I'll find out. I'll read through the chat later. Lots of tips there, thank you. It never disappeared. So. Okay, Matic. I'm gonna just go through a few charts. Jason, it's a wolf dog. Okay, so yeah, Matic, there's basically no change to the previous yeah, in terms of price action here, there's nothing to add. As long as it's holding the $1 level, for me the trend is up here for Matic. But yeah, it's on thin ice, you know, it hasn't really moved up impulsively since then. I would like to see that. So current price action doesn't give much confidence that we already are in the third wave. It might need a reset of this wave 2 a little lower, but ideally it doesn't break below $1. Wouldn't necessarily be bearish below $1, but I would lose confidence in the bullish structure here short term. Yeah. Next support after that is 94 and then 87 cents. All right, let's look at Solana. Just 4 minutes left. And this is normally, yeah, maybe another couple of minutes. That's when volatility starts, and we should then focus on Bitcoin a bit. Nothing yet. Solana ideally gets one more leg up here to form 5 waves in the 5th wave. Sort of target $25 or just below. They can always go a little higher, especially on a day like that, right? But it's an interesting structure. It's looking good, you know. It's just below or just trying to break through that wave 1 high of the 20th of March. That would be additional confirmation that we are already in the higher degree 3rd wave. But what we've seen here is a possible 5 wave move up. What I cannot rule out, I say that very clearly, that this 4th wave is going to become a little bit longer sideways, time-wise. Yeah, this might become a triangle here or a flat pattern. So this wave 4 looks at the moment very short compared to the length of the wave 2. Yeah, so it seems unlikely that the wave 2 was, you know, whatever, nearly a week long, and the wave 4 was done in a day. Just highlighting that here, right? So be aware of that. This could just extend sideways for a bit. You always want to have some proportions. But yeah, overall, I mean, also here trend is up, especially as long as we're holding 1985. But yeah, we've already made a move, you know? And now it's about, you know, soon we should have 5 waves up complete. This would mean, again, the next pullback, next opportunity, and then the rally. So here, obviously, we had another trend reversal area, communicated that yesterday, worked out. But I think we are basically getting towards this end of this 5th wave move. Okay, Leon asked about chilies, and then in a couple of minutes we get CPI. And by the way, in the meantime, it would be great if we can get a few more likes. Maybe let's see if we can get 500. We've got 368 I see at the moment. That would be great. Okay, so chilies. I would still count that at the moment as a possible 4th wave, but it's getting a bit unlikely now, because we've pulled below the 50% fib retracement. By the way, chilies is not the most reliable chart. It likes to retrace very deep. These retracements, it likes to do that. It likes to max out what it can do. Here, for example, it broke below the trend reversal area to an area which is normally unlikely in a wave 2. And typically when that happens, eventually it will fail somewhere. And here again, it's pulling deeper than it would be ideal. It's pulling back deeper than it would be ideal for a 50% retracement for the wave 4. Normally it shouldn't do that. If it does, it's always a warning sign. You know, this could become another 1-2 setup, so with a much deeper pullback. But generally, I would say with chilies, as long as we're holding, is pretty much the 10-cent level for me. As long as that's holding, I would still focus here on higher. Below that, I would probably turn bearish on the chart, because then you're taking out the 10th of March low, and it's basically going to take out then most likely the December low as well. But for now, yeah, I mean, we have only 3 waves up so far, but it's looking impulsive. I'm happy with that. This wasn't needed really. Oh, 5%. Well, that's bullish, isn't it? Yeah, that's bullish. 5%. That is, yeah. Here you go. It's just following at the moment the count. Let's see. After this fifth wave, we should get a fourth of the higher degree. Let's see. I mean, 5% is quite bullish. Yeah, that's below 5.2, below 5.1. We had different forecasts here depending on what level, what page you were looking at, really. So yeah, I'm on the BTC chart now, obviously. So let's see. But it's the idea was from somewhere from here then to at least get one more high here in the fifth wave. But if this wave count is correct, and Bitcoin can use the space all the way down to 29,137 in this particular wave 4, but it might be over now, that wave 4. We'll see. I mean, sometimes you get these fake rallies and it often happens and it just goes the other way, right? And then later it rallies, so it's all a bit crazy with the CPI. It's just not really predictable, so I just prefer to go just with the charts. I think they probably all show a bullish. Okay, so here's our fifth wave for Solana. We just talked about it. Okay. So because in the fifth wave, we wanted to see 5 waves. This can always extend a bit higher, but I talked about roughly sort of $25 as a target, or just slightly below. Yeah, I mean, all coins are currently showing some reaction here. Not all. VeChain still hasn't found its party dress yet. Yeah, Bitcoin hasn't broken out of the range yet. Okay, so next target for the bulls needs to be to break above 30,580. If it can do that, I think we have a good go. We have some go time. Target wise, few things to highlight here. If we look at the target for the yellow fifth wave, we can take the length of wave 1, go to the low of the current fourth wave, and then target wise, we talk about roughly 31,400 would be a target. There are different ways of calculating targets here for that fifth wave. 31,400, or different way of calculating target. This one would also take us to around about 31,850 here. There's actually the first level is 31,100. Sometimes you just see a bit of a reaction at these levels. A very bullish interpretation. They're all levels to watch, right? A very bullish one or idea would be that we could get to, let me just see. Let me just check a few things here. But yeah, good reaction, good FIB, good CPI. So bullish. Okay, no, a lot of them are pointing sort of towards 31,850, something like that, right? So that would be sort of an area to watch if we get that fifth wave. Okay. So yeah, just sort of, let's see. I guess we need. We've seen an initial good reaction, some volume, and ideally it's rolling now. Yeah. Ethereum, what was that? Is that, no, that's ETH-BTC. Okay, so just ETH-BTC, by the way, is expected to drop further, and there's no surprise. So it's just trying to break through support. If it does that, and it's just trying to, this could be a signal that Bitcoin is going to go, yeah, massively outperforming Ethereum. It's just holding support here now, but just about to break it. So it could be another catalyst for Bitcoin to rally higher than Ethereum. Ethereum shows a bit of a reaction as well. In my video earlier today, we talked about we could possibly count WXY complete. Might be turning around already. Let's see. Yeah, in this 1-2 setup. But here a bit of a breakout point would be the 1917 level on the ETH chart. Let's go back to Bitcoin. Yeah, now it's going. So it's, as I just showed you, it seems to be breaking that ETH-BTC support. Yeah, we did get 500 likes, which is fantastic. So maybe you could just add a bit more likes to it. That would be great. So yeah, here I think there's a lot of pressure coming in now. So that's looking good. And it's just, let's see what the coins are doing. ADA, okay, showing a reaction currently in B wave resistance now. We need to watch here on the ADA chart. If it holds 40.8 cents, then this is a good chance it's just a B wave. Yeah, but if it breaks above that, it could be the direct breakout scenario. Overall here, I mean, I'm generally bullish on the market, but within these bullish scenarios, there's obviously a few options, how these corrective structures can unfold. Here, resistance is 40.8 cents. Then the breakout point would be 41.3. So what I mean is above 40.8, it will already get more likely that a breakout is occurring, and this is not a B wave, but actually already the direct breakout case. But they're both, here for example on the ADA chart, I've got two bullish scenarios. There's one which is short-term bearish, but generally bullish, and the other one is also generally directly bullish. But there's a lot of bullish scenarios at the moment, which can always change, but Gala just doesn't seem to be able to break out of the range, right? Just not able to for now. Okay, TB asked about Rune. So yeah, I can't unfortunately cover all requests, but we'll go through some coins that you asked for. Slavia, I don't understand the question. How much needs to be broken? What level do you mean? Engine gaming, yeah, don't worry, I'll check Edgix as well afterwards. So let's look at here Rune. I mean Rune, first let's check the timestamp. By the way, in terms of the timestamp, if you're wondering, always update that when I look at the chart, because members, as a channel member, you can get access to all these live charts. So you can, I think, incorporate them into your own TradingView. I haven't tried that myself, but I think a lot of members are doing that. Yeah, here, ideally, I'd like to see here one more wave up in this fifth wave, ideally to 185. So if it can break above 167, which is previous resistance, it should be good to go to 185. It's a bullish structure here at the moment, as long as it's holding 150. That is sort of the pivot here for me, the decision point. As long as it's holding 149, 150, it can push higher here in a fifth wave of a third. Yeah, and then we should get a fourth and still pushing higher. My grid bot for Rune is still running. I'm happy with that because it's quite choppy price action, so it's making nice profits at the moment. It does. It did come down quite a bit since I started that grid bot. It was in profit for a while, but it's now back in. No, it was at a loss at a time, but now it's back in profit. Did hold support, which is great. That's why it's so important to identify that range within which the grid bot should be trading. And yeah, Rune, happy with that. Oh, nice feedback. Thanks, Brian. Then we've got Edgix, I promised. Just need to make sure I don't have too many of these windows open here. But yeah, a lot of coins now show some upside here. Bitcoin so far failed to break above the range. But yeah, as I said, it's go time. Above 30.6K, there's a good chance it reaches that 31.8K level fifth wave target, roughly. Yeah, roughly. There are a few ways of calculating targets there. But note that this is not yet a breakout. Okay, so Edgix is again here also just changing. I hope it's the 12th of April today. I've completely lost. I had quite a lot going on the last few days, so it's crazy. It's like quarter of the year already over. But yeah, here nothing else to add really to previous videos. No reaction at the moment, basically in the support area. Ideally, it's turning around here. Ideally above 34.7 cents. Below that, we've got some support here at 28.1 and then 17.4 cents. Below 17.4, I would turn bearish on this chart. Ideally, it's not going below 34.7. That would already cost it a little bit of, yeah, I would say reliability, bullish, from a bullish point of view. But you can always reset this wave 2 a little lower, and unfortunately it could drop quite a bit. So it can come back to the 17.5 cent level actually. But and still be bullish, taking the bigger picture into account, right? But the thing is, if it drops below 34.7, chances are it can drop quite a bit first before it finds some more support. Good, it's the 12th of April. I thought it was. Okay, I'm at AVAX. AVAX, no problem. Okay. Yeah, I mean, AVAX, we've got the chance to break out directly from here, obviously, as long as this lower trend line is holding. We could then say that we have a very bullish, let's say 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 structure, which is always a little bit unrealistic because you have too many of these 1-2 setups. I mean, anybody who knows about Elliott Wave, you know that these 1-2 setups eventually they need to lead to a third wave, a fourth wave, a fifth wave. So it would cascade higher. I haven't even added all these subwave structures onto the chart, right? But it could also be, and that's sort of the, let's say the second count I've got, they're both bullish, okay, would be that we had a wave 1 here, so that all of this is basically a so-called leading diagonal. You can have 5 waves up with overlaps in a so-called diagonal pattern, basically a wedge pattern or a channel. Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. And then here somewhere, this wave 1 would finish. But if we can break above the channel, it's probably not this orange one. But at the moment, I would say the chances are at least not small that we have here this orange count. And if we see a break below the channel trend line, then we are probably here in this wave 2. Yeah, something like that. And then as long as we're holding 1664, we can still rally in the third wave, or direct breakout possible, but they are both bullish structures. You know, it's only really below 1478. I would have to change my view and sort of flip to bearish, I would say, you know. But as long as this is holding, there are a few ways of how this can play out. For example, a 1-2-1-2 setup, and now with again 1-2-1-2, it's too bullish. It's basically too bullish. I don't believe that. But yeah, it could be, you know, wave 1, wave A, B, C in wave 2. But as long as we're holding 1478, it's all still bullish and can rally, you know. I think this is really, I think the key level to watch out for is, depending on what time frame some people are trading, it's this level here for me. You know, that's for me the most relevant one, because a lot of lower degree wave structures can play out here. And just because this is not clearly impulsive, what's happening to the upside, it could be, well, not impulsive, but most likely a diagonal, but then it needs to hold 1664. Either way, to keep it simple, as long as 1478 is holding, we can focus on higher. I don't really have a sustained breakout here yet. That might be the next step for the bulls. Maybe happens today if we see, maybe the stock market is going to be bullish today. We'll see. But yeah, generally uptrend here as well on the AVAX chart. It's just not quite broken out yet. So the thing is with Bitcoin, it hasn't really moved yet much. It just needs to break out of the range. So it's not that volatile yet, but that doesn't mean it couldn't become more volatile. Wait for the stock market, right? That typically the most volatility in crypto you get in the first 4 hours after the US stock market opened. Okay, so Footbarbo asked for Polkadot. Yeah, also here, no change. We see a bit of a reaction today. Okay, bit of a reaction there to the upside, but it's quite weak so far. It's quite weak. Needs to move above this wave 1 high really and stay there, because that's, if this was a wave 1, a leading diagonal, we came down in A, overshooting B wave, C wave down. As long as we're holding 590, this is bullish in my opinion. But for confirmation that we're now in this yellow third wave, we need a break above 645 for DOT. Yeah, let me know if you have audio problems. I think many people confirmed the sound is good, Lena. So, okay, so let's do, Fantom. Fantom. Okay, so Fantom just at the breakout point basically. You could argue we've got a bit of an inverse head and shoulders here. I normally don't like to use these structures, but when they are sort of in line with Elliott Wave, with the Elliott Wave structure, you can, you know, I tend to at least highlight them with the neckline basically here be at 50 cents, 50.5 cents, 50.6 really. That's sort of a breakout point here. We quite likely we're going to get above that, I would say. Maybe not immediately, because we got rejected before, but we're pushing against the ceiling, right? It's sort of a breakout build-up. You know, you move higher, you get rejected, but you make a higher low, you push again, you know, and so there's a good chance we get that break at some point here. And then, you know, it's go time. I think above 50 cents, there could be quite a bit. I mean, there's some more resistance going to be at 53.5. And then we can get quite quickly to 60, I think, with Fantom. So yeah, that's actually, it seems to be, it's got a lot of upside. You know, the movements to the upside are in 5 waves. The movements to the downside are in 3 waves. This also seems to become 5-wave move. So starts to look promising from a, let's say, bullish point of view here. So yeah, I think as long as we're holding here the 43 cent level, this sort of upside pressure will remain, in my opinion. So I did want to have a quick look at Injective, I think. Is it Injective protocol? I think I've got a chart somewhere. I didn't really... That's the avocado prices. By the way, Bitcoin's price was correlated to avocados a few years ago. So I just looked that up actually. Yeah, I mean, it's not the best long-term chart. Yeah, it's not. It could have bottomed here maybe. You know, it's sort of in a truncation, but it's just not great. It pulled back basically too deep to make it a reliable uptrend. But yeah, it's rallying. So you could say that we had here a possible because this is just a 3-wave move up. Yeah, it's a bit messy down here. But this seems like a 5-wave move. So wave 1, wave 2, and we could now be in a 3rd wave rally. So that could push a bit higher. Relevant support here, I would say, is this swing low, 365. It's quite far away now. So risk is quite high in terms of, you know, if you to key support, it's quite low now. In terms of that 3rd wave then. But this is just a quick assessment because I've never really looked at Inch before into too much detail. Again, this could be a 1, 2 here, 1/3 of a 3rd rally. That's how it looks at the moment actually. 1/3 of a 3rd rally, a 3rd wave of a 3rd wave is normally the most bullish one. And it would suggest this is what is going on here at the moment. So target for the white 3rd wave would be the 1.618 extension. So 783 should be reached ideally for confidence that we are in this pattern. Then the 4th wave and the 5th wave higher. Target sort of, I would say, the $10 range. You know, then we should get another 4 and another 5. So yeah, it could still escalate higher. Important would be though that it's holding the 371 level. I mean, it should already actually it shouldn't drop below $5. Yeah, because this wave 4 needs to avoid an overlap with wave 1. But it doesn't seem like wave 4 has started yet. So I think there's still a good chance to push higher. So yeah, it's actually quite looks actually quite good short term. Long term, not too happy with it, but it's also not the worst chart I've seen. Yeah, it's don't like the bottoming structure here. So that might need a different interpretation, to be honest, but that takes a bit longer than 5 minutes, to be honest. So let's take another look at Bitcoin actually. I think we need now some impulses from the stock market. Let's see how the stock market reacts to it. So there's no change basically to what I said before. We're still in the range here. We're pushing higher, but this could all still be part of the 4th wave. In fact, I think I mentioned it in the previous video. This could unfold as a triangle. Yeah, so a wave 4 as a triangle. So it could be an A wave, a B wave, a C wave because it made a higher low, a D wave because it made a lower high, and then an E wave down. And we could rally, right? But could also be something different. The point is here that as long as the 29,130 level is holding, overall another high is expected, ideally sort of into the 30 into the high 31k region, I would say. So yeah, let's can check. You know, need to finish soon, but let's check a few more. So let's look at sand. Just going by some requests. You know, I can't cover them all unfortunately, but. So I haven't updated this chart for a while, as you can see, but there's nothing has happened. Just moving sideways. It looks so corrective. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it will reset here circle wave 2. Obviously it has avoided to make a new low, and they can always surprise to the upside, but at the moment I cannot clearly see an impulsive structure that is forming. Now what you need to know about these altcoins, sometimes some start to move first, like in this case Solana I think, and then the other ones typically would follow. But this at the moment just looks corrective. You can see 3 waves to the upside. So it might even be some kind of a triangle which is forming here. So I don't think we're yet in the 3rd wave. So it might be that either this wave 2 needs a reset, but then the wave 1 was very short compared to the wave 2, or that circle wave 2 will come a bit lower. But to keep it simple also here, as long as 54 cents is holding, we can focus on higher. So Fetch AI I wanted to look at. Yeah, I think I made a video yesterday about Fetch. Absolutely no change to yesterday's update. It's holding support for now, but you know, it's not giving me a lot of confidence. Maybe we are going to see here some kind of a descending wedge. This would give some confidence because it would suggest a breakout is coming to the upside, but I don't see it yet. The price needs to confirm that. Could very well be this wave 2 needs a reset. I mean, again, it's similar to HBAR actually, where we have short-term support here at 33.6 cents. We're holding that for now, but there's a risk of breaking. Ideally, it's moving up now. Yeah. If it breaks below the 33.6 cent level and stays there, then it's likely to test the 26.8 cent, and that would mean a reset of wave 2. It wouldn't be bearish necessarily. Yeah, the move down currently looks very corrective. But you know, ideally it doesn't go below the 33.6 cents, or that smaller 1-2 setup will be basically taken out, and then the WXY, yeah, the larger wave 2 would unfold in a WXY. So that's sort of the alternative basically, but not an unlikely one. It's just that we haven't really seen any impulse yet of the low here. So normally they do react quite strongly to the 78.6 FIB level. FET didn't, so I think we've got some better setups out there at the moment. Okay, the question here for Ape, can cover that because I've got the chart somewhere. Oh, nice. We actually reacted here to the trend reversal area. I mean, I'm not confident here about the bullish count. Need to change the color here, but there is a bullish and a bearish count, but I'm not too confident into the bullish one. I did add it because it's obviously a tradable area, but as I said in the last few videos, I think that I made, or the live streams, we have much better setups out there, and this is a lifetime downtrend. It's never created an impulse to the upside in its lifetime, really. So for me, there's a good chance this actually makes new lows. Now, if it doesn't, it first needs to break above 780 to really confirm that it's not going to do another low. So yeah, it's quite a, let's say, short-term bearish chart. Now it can always surprise, but then it would need to break above 780. Okay, so but this is a trend reversal area I suggested, I think, in a previous video. There's obviously tradable, yeah, but yeah. Also here the move up doesn't look very impulsive, so there are much better setups to the upside in my opinion out there. Guys, sorry, I need to close the stream now because there's dinner. Yes, it's late today, dinner, but there is dinner now, so I have to close the stream. There'll be some more updates later, as you know. Thanks for everybody who came in and joined the live stream. Thanks so much, and you can always, if you want some more If you want some more updates, feel free to check out the channel membership. If you are not a member, you can always check our trading course on morecryptoonline.com. If not, just check out the videos. So yeah, thank you very much. Have a great day, and I'll keep you updated. Thank you. Bye-bye.